Hello everyone and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzy and I'm your host for today's show. Now that is what you call a performance. What a win from the Reds. They were trailing in the first half, but they managed to resurrect themselves and get the win over the line. So the match ended 3-1. So today we'll briefly talk about the game in terms of my sort of key moments / review of the match. And then I'll do the player ratings. And it's also a calling show, guys. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, feel free to drop a comment or feel free to hit the link. Actually, let me check if the link is even there. If not, I'm going to pin it right now for you guys. So if you'd like to come on, hit that link and you'll be able to come on the chat. So there we go. The link has been pinned. So let's talk about the game. So in terms of the first half, yeah, not the best of starts from Liverpool, especially the opening 10 minutes. I literally started my stream like a minute late when I was doing the watch along, and I was still speaking about the lineups, and all of a sudden, I see Pulisic hit a shot from a tight angle and hits the back of the net. So I was certainly caught off guard, and it appeared to be the same for Liverpool. They were caught off guard in terms of that goal coming, because normally when you're starting a game, you're positioned quite well. You're not really, exposed. There's no really space behind you and anything like that. But this was just bizarre. Pulisic charging down the left side. Tsimikas obviously a bit too adventurous, and Van Dijk not covering the ground quick enough to get on to Pulisic. So yeah, disappointing start. Good finish. You have to give credit to the player. Good finish from him. But yeah, at that stage, you're probably thinking, oh, it's going to be one of those days, because we just had a terrible result over the weekend. Some sections of the fan base, they already turned on the coach already, just to say it politely, doubting his credentials, calling him a fraud just after one defeat, which for me is absolutely outrageous. But that is our fan base, unfortunately. So yeah, a lot of doubts in terms of how the team will do this season in terms of challenging on all competitions. But it's definite overreaction from the fan base after one defeat. Don't get me wrong, it was an awful performance against Forest, but those are the games where we have to improve, because we are going to face teams that are going to have the low block. Simple as that. So that's a learning curve for Arne Slot. I'm sure he's going to take that on board. But in terms of this game, yeah, the opening 10 minutes, not great from Liverpool. But then they managed to find their rhythm. We didn't play, I'd say, like a high level in comparison to other games we played this season. But we definitely were a bit more patient in our build-up play, kept the possession really well, kept their best players quiet. So for me, Rafael Leao, by far the best player in the team, kept him quiet. Trent did a great job on him defensively. So it was a really good team performance altogether. Gravenberch, absolutely sensational. We'll obviously touch on individual performance later in the show. But no, I was very impressed. And the reaction or the response after that goal was good, because we created a lot of chances. One player in particular, Mohamed Salah, so unlucky not to get on the score sheet. His first shot smashes onto the crossbar. The right-footed striker's on his weaker foot, but yeah, solid effort there. Then he had another shot, left-footed, hits the woodwork once again. Then he has a third chance just before half-time with his left foot, but it was parried away by Mainan, who by the way, had a bit of a bit of a torrid time today. He looked like he went through the walls because he was injured in the first opening 10-15 minutes. Asked to be substituted. They ignored his call. And then the second, I was like, please, let me just go now. And then just before he was getting substituted, he got into a clash with Jota and hurt his knee, I think. So, yeah, not a good day in the office for the AC Milan goalkeeper. But in terms of Liverpool, yeah, Salah very unlucky not to score. I just liked his sort of directness. I know some fans don't like it because there were one or two occasions where people thought maybe he should have passed or, be a bit more unselfish in his play. But look, in those positions, when you're in the final third, if you're able to turn the defender and have a shot on goal, you need to go for it. So for me, the efforts, he was just simply unlucky. When you've hit the shot with such power and it's hit the crossbar and it's not gone in, it's just one of those days. So I wouldn't question his ability, or I wouldn't say that he should have scored. I just feel like he was unlucky not to get on the score sheet. So that's my viewpoint for Mohamed Salah. In terms of Cody Gakpo, he was very close to opening the score sheet in the first half as well. But his shot was saved by Manon. But the most impressive thing for me about this performance was that we were able to score from set pieces. The first was Konate, great cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold. And yeah, pretty much buried it in. And then the second one, fantastic cross from Tsimikas from the other side of the corner kick. Beautiful cross. Pinpointed pass from Tsimikas. And then Van Dijk made that look very easy. Got away from Reinders very, very efficiently. Reinders didn't know what he was doing in that box, to be honest with you. And then, yeah, he just had pretty much an open goal. I know you've got players and goalkeepers in front of you, but the way he finished it, yeah, piece of cake. So good to see the two defenders on the score sheet. And I feel like that's an area we really need to work on and improve on, because it's all good and well scoring lots of goals from attackers and the midfielders chipping on the odd occasion. I want the centre backs to get involved as well, because they're so powerful in the air, so dominant with the ball. I feel like we could definitely utilize their skills in corner kicks and use that as another sort of weaponry to add more goals to the tally. And today was evident. So really pleased in terms of how he scored. AC Milan's defending was absolutely shocking in set pieces, to say the least. Like, hey, we'll take that all day long. And in the second half, it was more of the same, to be fair. Patient build-up, a lot of possession, good level of football for me. Really enjoyed some individual performance today. Tsimikas was on one today. Had about 3 shots. I'd like to say on target, that none of them hit the target. Quite wayward efforts. Had 1 or 2 crosses where I feel like he didn't really pinpoint his passes there. But nevertheless, he was in more of attacking positions. And I feel like this was a game suited to his skill set. And that's why I selected him to be in the starting lineup for the match preview. And then the third goal, great cross from Cody Gakpo on the left wing. And the finish from Szoboszlai, some say it was by luck or it was a bit fluky with the finish. The way that cross came in, it came in with a lot of pace. And sometimes when you're playing football, it's not easy to get a clean strike, especially from the positioning of how the ball came to him, because you have to adapt your body to the ball. So he couldn't really kick the ball at full stretch. He had to try and guide it in some shape or form. I believe it hit his shin, or in between his shin and his knee, and he guided it into the back of the net. So that's what you can ask for. Difficult chance to take, but he controlled the effort really well. And yeah, got on the score sheet, which is something, I've been saying that he needs to do more of this season. And, with Arsenal making some comments saying, he's a number 10 now, he should be scoring more goals. Last year, only scored 3 goals in the whole of the season. He needs to do much better. And I feel like that was probably something for him to use as motivation, and they're going from there. So for me, good finish from Szoboszlai there. In terms of general play, I was very, very impressed. Also, this game marks the debut of Federico Chiesa, which was good to see him on the pitch. He only played about 5-10 minutes, so not a lot of minutes involved, but makes his debut against an Italian side in AC Milan, which is good for the record books. So no, overall, very, very pleased with the performance. I don't think it was an amazing performance, but I was very impressed. And it was a good reaction from the Forest game, where I know a lot of fans were angry, frustrated, embarrassed, you name it. But it was a good reaction from the team. We played a good level of football, still room for improvement. And that is going to happen because we've got a new coach with new ideas and new philosophy. So it will take time for us to play up to his level as well. So no, overall, very, very pleased with the performance. Opening game of the Champions League campaign as well. So yeah, I was looking forward to this one. AC Milan, obviously a club with heritage, and we've obviously had battles over the years in terms of Champions League finals. So yeah, it was nice to get a victory. And San Siro is not an easy place to get a win, so the crowd can be very hostile. I know there's a certain section, the ultras for AC Milan, they'll be having words with their own players because they stick around after the game and they let their voices heard. So yeah, not an easy night for the AC Milan players. But overall, great win for Liverpool. Good way to start the competition. And yeah, it gives us good confidence going into our game this weekend in the Premier League. And we've also got another cup tie next week. So yeah, so that's my match review there. What I'll do now is I'll present a graphic and we can discuss the player rating. So let's have a look. So we'll start with Alisson in goal. He didn't have the best of games, to be honest with you. Looked a bit shaky at times. His kicking was a bit off. There's that one moment, I will say, towards the end of the game where he came charging out and he didn't really need to come out, to be fair. And he tried to make a clearance, but he ended up passing it back to Tammy Abraham. And then, yeah, it almost cost us the goal. I think Tammy Abraham tried to shoot, but it ended up looking like a low cross in the danger zone. So, yeah, I was not impressed with him at all. But, you know, Alisson's allowed to have one of these poopers. And to be fair, I'd rather have those performances when we win rather than when we lose, obviously. So no, it is what it is. Just a bad day in the office. It happens. So for me, I'm going to give him 6 out of 10. And if you're watching live, feel free to drop your scores in the chat as well. Now, on to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought he had a good game. There were definitely moments where, personally, I felt a bit frustrated with Trent. I feel like he gave the ball away quite a bit. Not as much as he did in comparison to the Forest game, but there are a lot of moments where I feel like he needs to do better. He needs to keep hold of the ball. There was one pass where he just literally just lashed on it, and then it ended up going back to the opposition's goalkeeper. So just little things here and there where I feel like he needs to be a bit more focused and be a bit more calculated of what kind of passes he produces, because it's all good having, you know, these Hollywood passes around the pitch, but it needs to be at the right time, not just for the sake of doing it. So, but no, in terms of his all-round game, I thought it was good, like passing, despite, you know, me saying I find it frustrating at times. He did offer a good passing range for us. When it goes inverted, I'm not his biggest fan there. I just feel like when he's playing as a traditional right back or more towards the flank, he's just more effective going forward. So I hope that's a tactic that's deployed more. And he kept Rafael Leao at bay. Obviously, there were a couple of moments where Leao went past him, but you know, it's Rafael Leao. He's one of the best wingers in the world right now. So yeah, he did really well, to be fair. Kept him quiet. Didn't really allow him to have much influence on the game. So for me, a solid performance for Trent. So I'm going to give Trent 7.5 out of 10. Konate, what a performance from him. The goal itself, yeah, great goal, great leap, great header from the French defender. Really impressed with his play. But for me, it wasn't even just the goal. It was just his overall play. He was just everywhere. And the best part of his performance that I really enjoyed is when Rafael Leao would go past a couple of players and then he'll come in field and then Konate is there like a colossal and just blocks them and takes the ball off him. Did that on numerous occasions. That's why it probably helped Trent in terms of like not, you know, doing too much running there because we had Konate to cover him. But no, he was everywhere, powerful, cleared the lines whenever required. Yeah, I thought it was a really top performance. And look, so good to see him playing to his level now. Last season, towards the second half, dropped off. But I think that was probably down to picking up little injuries here and there, not really finding his rhythm. And then obviously, the start of the season, he didn't start, and then Kwanzaa was in place of him. And he responded in a very professional way, got his opportunity, and he's taken it with both hands. So for me, yeah, it has to be first choice alongside all day long. But today's performance, really, really solid performance. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. And then Virgil van Dijk, he was just as good as well. Couple of moments where I felt like he was a bit shaky, where once he gave the ball away, it led to a kind of like another counter attack. But other than that, I think his distribution was decent today. The goal just made that look easy. I know he was like a few yards away from goal, but it was just the way he moved away from the Dutch midfielder Reinders, and then just got into a position and then just had to nod it into the back of the net. So, no, a very good performance from him. Led the team by example. So yeah, overall, very, very impressed with Van Dijk again. So for me, I'm going to match him with Konate. I think he gets a 9 out of 10 as well. Tsimikas, at fault for the first goal, if I'm being honest. Just went a bit too forward for my liking. But after that, I feel like he responded well. He was a bit better defensively. From an attacking point of view, his movement, his passing, he's just a bit more athletic in that position. So really impressed with him. The assist for Van Dijk was a peach of a cross, to be fair. So now overall, good game from him. Obviously, considering that he hasn't started many games and he's just been brought in place of Robertson as a more of a rotational move more than anything else. I thought he did really well because there's been games last season where Robertson got injured, I remember, and then his first game was against Everton, and that was a game that he started and he was woeful. And I feel like maybe starting games he's just not that sort of player. Maybe he's better coming off the bench or the odd cup game here and there. But I feel like that run of games he played last year probably gave him a bit more confidence. So now he knows how to be effective when he starts from the beginning. So for me, good performance from him again. Yeah, had a few wayward shots in the second half, so probably less said the better. But yeah, you got to pick a pass next time. So for me, he gets a 7.5. Yeah, I think 7.5 out of 10. McAllister, much better performance from McAllister in this one. He was everywhere. Really sort of bullish in terms of his approach, aggressive in the press, tackling, his passing range, and even just his dribbling, gliding the ball at times. Really, really good. Very energetic performance today from him. So now, very impressed. Yeah, long way to continue because he's had a bit of an up downs season so far. I think last week he looked a bit unfit. And I think that's because he picked up an injury in international duty. So he just looked a bit rusty over the weekend. But it looks like he's slowly getting back into full gear. And the partnership that he's forming alongside Gravenberch, yeah, it's a formidable partnership to say the least. So for me, in terms of his performance today, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Let's talk about the man of the hour, Ryan Gravenberch. What another performance from him. And this is against AC Milan. Yes, it might not be the AC Milan that we used to face back in the day in like 05 and 07, but it's a team that still has quality. It's an iconic stadium. It's a hostile environment. It's a bigger pitch than what he's normally used to playing because of being in the Italian league and stuff. But I was very impressed with his performance today in every aspect of his game, even just from his interceptions. He made so many interceptions. I feel like I kept on saying that word throughout my watch along. That's how much I was impressed with what he was doing. Driving the ball at the right time, releasing the ball at the right time. Just kept everything neat and tidy, clean. Tackling as well. He made so many good tackles. That one tackle, I remember when Leao was going down that left wing and he went past Trent and Konate and then Gravenberch came in and it slid through and you could see the the proudness from Van Dijk when he was like, come on, that's what I'm talking about. So no, Gravenberch, his stock is rising and long may it continue. And he's definitely proving a lot of doubters right now, because there were a lot of doubters. A lot of content creators doubted him last season. A lot of fans were doubting him last season. That's because I don't think a lot of you guys watched Gravenberch in his Ajax days. I'm not, taking shots at anyone. I've watched him, so I know the potential in the player. You've got to really exclude that stint at Bayern Munich. He only played like 5-10 minutes all season, so he never really got a shoot. He was just brought in as a young player with potential, and then see how he does. It just probably didn't fit the style of play, didn't fit the philosophy of the manager. I think it was Tuchel at the time, so it just wasn't the right fit for him. But for Liverpool, really pleased that we signed him last year, and I feel like this position, it just suits him to the T. So yeah, it's probably saved us a bit of cash in terms of acquiring a midfielder. I still feel like we need another midfielder, to be fair, but it's probably saved us a bit of time because of the level he's playing right now, and maybe it's something we can look to reinforce in January or maybe in the summer. But that's another topic for another day. In terms of his performance, yeah, absolutely sensational. So for me, he gets a 9.5. He doesn't get a 10 from me, and I'm nitpicking it, guys. So, don't quote me on this. It's just there were moments where I think his passing could have been better. That's the only thing. I feel like he got the ball in good positions, but just didn't release the pass on time, or maybe did a sort of like a run a bit too much in terms of dribbles. So just little key details there. Because when I give someone a 10, for me, it's like a perfect performance. So this is as good as it gets. Obviously, being 9.5. So for me, he was fantastic. Really, really good performance. Szoboszlai, I was impressed with Szoboszlai. Now, depending who you speak to, obviously I'm a big fan of his, so I'll probably speak a bit more positive in terms of the neutral fan. But I want to try and speak neutrally today as well. Obviously, in the last few weeks, I feel like he's shown the energy levels, which we all know he has. We know he has a great engine on him, but he's been very gun shy in terms of the attacking half. I feel like sometimes he overplays a little bit. But when I think about it, it could also be instructions from the coach, where you can tell that Arne Slot wants the team to have possession. And his famous quote from his opening training session was "kill them with passes." So that shows you his philosophy right away. So for me, there's areas of his game where he's actually improving week in, week out. I feel like since the first match in the Premier League, every game he's improving. Even if it's by like a small scale, he's improving. Today, what impressed me the most was his use of the ball. It was much better. Maybe in the final third, not quite there, but he was the one that would, apply a lot of through balls towards Salah, open up a couple of chances for Gakpo on the left side. So for me, much better performance. Got the goal as well. Not an easy opportunity to complete. And I feel like the comments from Arne Slot would have annoyed him or anything like that. I think it would just spurred him on to be really successful this season. So I'm rooting for Szoboszlai. I think he's going to have a great season for us. I think he's going to really cook. Just needs to keep going. Keep playing with freedom. Don't be gun shy. If you're able to shoot. Because when they brought in their goalkeeper, 19-year-old kid, inexperienced, that's when I feel like we should have really, took that to our advantage and increased the scoreline. But overall, good performance from Szoboszlai. So I'm going to give him 8.5 out of 10. Let's start with Mohamed Salah. As I mentioned earlier on when I did the review, very, very unlucky not to get on the score sheet. Smashed the crossbar on a couple of occasions. Maynard saved one of his shots as well. So could have got a hat-trick today. But look, wasn't to be. I still feel like he was effective. He wasn't probably on the ball as much, but I feel like he was taking up good positions. Laid it off to the players when required. Final pass, still a bit missing. That's probably the thing with Szoboszlai and Salah. Just finding that chemistry together. And that will come with the more games they play in this position, because Szoboszlai's playing a little bit more advanced than normal. So I think once these players are on song, they'll be, setting up each other and they'll both be scoring a bucket load of goals. So for me today, had a good performance, not his best. So for Salah, I'm going to give him 7.5 out of 10. Cody Gakpo, really, really good performance. Very good performance. Started the game a bit slow, but then again, the whole team didn't have a great start. Obviously, we conceded the first goal. But once he found his rhythm, he got into good positions. Dribbling was really good. He had that shot in the first half where he almost scored himself. He really, I feel like he definitely reignited something within the team, because once he started pressing from the front, and that came from Szoboszlai as well, because he was quite advanced in comparison to the other players, the likes of Szoboszlai and Gakpo. I feel like they were really setting up the tempo for the team, and then that helped the team play a bit more of a fluid game, and they were a lot more cohesive in terms of as a team, but also the passing was more precise, had more energy in terms of players interchanging and stuff like that. So for me, he definitely helped in terms of that performance for the team. And yeah, I was really impressed with him. And Gakpo is one of those players where I feel like when he starts, he plays with real confidence. But if he's on the bench, I feel like he takes it to heart and it's just like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough to play. And then when he comes on, some games he's impactful, but it depends on what happened before, as in, did he play the last game and he's just being rotated? Then it's different. But if he's on the bench for a continuous amount of games, which has been the case recently, then I feel like it affects his confidence. So today, I was quite pleased that he was given a start. I predicted Diaz to start. I thought Diaz would have suited this game a bit more, just due to the fact that I thought Emerson Royale was going to start for AC Milan, but he didn't even start. So Diaz would have certainly cooked in this game. But yeah, Gakpo ended up getting the start ahead of Nunes, and I was very impressed with him. I thought it was really good, and it's a nice headache for Arne Slot. Who does he start on the left wing this weekend against Bournemouth? So remains to be seen. But in terms of his performance today, I'm giving him a strong performance. I'm strong way. I'm going to give him 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my rating for Gakpo. And the final man in the lineup, Diogo Jota. I'll be honest, guys. I thought he was awful today. Really, really bad. He was ghost for most of the game. I can't think of many things that I was impressed with him today. He had that moment where he was through on goal, and then he shot it with his left foot and it went wide. And you had Gakpo in the middle in a great position, and Gakpo was furious that he didn't pass it to him. Those kind of things stick to me, where his decision making is a bit questionable now. He's not involved in the build-up play. He gets into certain positions, but he's not effective anymore. So it's sad to see, because I was speaking about this in the previous show, in the match preview that I did, that he's probably one of our best finishers in the squad. But as a striker, I just don't know if he has the IQ to be a top striker for Liverpool, because I feel like his build-up, his sort of link-up play has improved, but it's still not to the highest level. And when you're a striker and you're expected to hold up the ball and stuff, you need to have eyes behind your back as well. So you need to have great awareness, and then you need to be 1 or 2 steps ahead. So before that ball comes, you need to know, boom, I'm going to put it there and then move, pass the move. You got to think on that kind of way. So with Jota, I always feel like he's much better, or he's more effective on the left wing. That is a role he's played for most of his career. So it's not like Darwin Núñez, where we've made him into a makeshift left wing at times because we're trying to fit him in the team. Jota played there for Wolves. He played there for Portugal. So he's always played in that position. And I just feel like he's more effective because he knows once he has the ball, he's on a half turn and he's direct and he's running down the wing. That suits his game, and then he can drive in field and score. And I feel like those are the kind of opportunities where he's more effective. Because even as a sort of main striker, he's clinical, but I think it's better when it's coming from a sort of like a wing position and then comes infield and then shoots. So it's different kind of technique and different kind of way of executing your shots as well at the same time. So that in terms of performance, really poor today. He looked tired. He looked a bit burnt out. So I feel like it might be worth rotating the next fixture, give him a bit of a breather, and then bring him back into the fold in the coming weeks. But in terms of performance today, I'm sorry, I can't give him anything higher than a 5. And I feel like 5 might actually be a little bit generous for Diogo Jota. So you drop a comment, guys. Let me know what you think. Who is your man of the match? For me, it's obvious in terms of who my man of the match is. And it is none other than Ryan Gravenberch. He is my man of the match. So yeah, drop a comment. Let me know who your man of the match is as well. Before we end the show, we can quickly speak about the substitutes. Who we got? So we had Diaz coming in for Gakpo. Luis Diaz. And then we've also got Darwin Núñez coming on for Diogo Jota. Then we have Joe Gomez on for Trent. Chiesa finally makes his debut for Liverpool. He replaced Salah in this game. And then Endo also got a bit of a run out after he replaced McAllister in the team. So let's start with Luis Diaz. So yeah, I was expecting him to start in this one, but I'm kind of glad Gakpo got a run in because he was really good today. Diaz, yeah, didn't really have any sort of goal scoring chance or anything like that, but it definitely came on, was impactful. Definitely gave Emerson Royale, who was also a sub that came on, gave him a bit of a headache. So not positive impact when he came on. So for me, I'll give him 7 out of 10. Darwin Núñez, for me, had a better cameo in comparison to the last few games. Normally, he likes to attack on the left channel. This time around, he was actually attacking the right channel quite a bit. Had that one moment where he was through on goal. I think it was a Szoboszlai pass. And rather than taking one extra touch and shooting, he tried to shoot just before the goalkeeper came out. And for me, I'm like, that's the little details where he really needs to improve on, because the through ball came. He just needed to apply that one touch to get away from the defender so the ball was in front of him, and then he can shoot. And that position would have been similar to how Pulisic scored in the first half as well. So there's areas of his game he really needs to improve. But I felt like he definitely made his presence felt. He definitely tried to make an impact when he came on. So a much better cameo from Darwin Núñez. So I'm going to give him 6 out of 10. Who else do we have? Joe Gomez came on, only played for about 10 minutes, so he didn't really play for that long. Unfortunately, we're probably going to remember him for falling on his backside after Chiesa went on a mad one, took him inside and out, and he dropped to ground. But look, it's Rafael Leao, so he'll do that to any defender in world football. So I won't put that on him. But due to not having much of an impact in terms of minutes being played, I'll give him an average rating. So it will be 5 out of 10. Same for Chiesa, only came on for about 5 minutes. Don't remember him touching the ball. I know he made a few runs or he tried to press from the front. But other than that, can't really say much. But good to see him on the pitch. Hopefully he'll be available for selection and get some more game time this weekend. And then Endo, yeah, pretty much the same thing. The only highlight was him getting into a one-on-one duel with Tammy Abraham, where Tammy Abraham tried to step up to him. Yeah, that's that that was the highlight of his performance where he rattled the opposition. So for me, it's a 5 out of 10. So yeah, that is the player ratings. I'm just gonna go through the comments and we'll take it from there. So Anfield Uncle Rod says, big up yourself, Anfield Uncle Rod. Appreciate your comment, appreciate you tuning in. Steve, big up Steve as always. He says, great win today. Let's go, champ. Let's go indeed. Steve says, only 2 changes made by Arne. Finally, to his starting lineup. He might have found a formula now going forward. It's a good headache to have, not gonna lie. Very good headache to have. He said, look like the players got their mojo back tonight. They lost it versus Forest. Players look fresh and loads of energy on the pitch. Look, I wasn't making excuses the other day, Steve. I genuinely feel like it's because of the international break. It just had an impact on the team. They hadn't been training together for a couple of weeks. They've been brought in, kind of like playing football, and like you haven't really done any training or you haven't played for a while. You're gonna be rusty. So it's exactly the same for these guys as well. So for me, it was only a matter of time that they produced a good level performance, and it was good to see it in the Champions League, with the bright lights and everything. So yeah, I was very impressed with the performance today. Man of the match, Gravenberch. Yeah, likewise. I agree. I think he's my man of the match today as well. Becker gets a 6. Yeah, he was he was terrible to say the least. So yeah, you're not wrong there at all. And then you also give me your scores on other players. So Trent gets an 8, which is fair. Sinica gets 7, Van Dijk and Konate 9. So yeah, pretty similar to my ratings there. MacDom get 8 and Gravenberch got 9. Yeah, not too far off as well. Salah 6, Jota 5, Gakpo 8, subs 6. Yeah, so it's pretty much quite similar there in terms of the scoring. And Steve says, after Arne made his first 2 subs, he should have made another 2 10 minutes later and used his last sub in the 9 minutes. Better score decision, needed to keep players fresh. That is actually a good point because I never see the point of bringing in 2 players in the last 5 minutes. That made no sense whatsoever. So why not bring them on where they get 10, 15 minutes? And it's just because when you get into a game coming off of the bench, you need a few minutes just to get your stride. And then once you get the ball, you've got a feel of the ball, then you can take it from there. So no, I feel like that is something he will need to improve on because Klopp, I feel like especially last season, his substitutions were almost perfect at times at the timing and when they were brought on and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely something for him to consider where what's the point of putting a player on for 5 minutes? Give them a bit more of a run out. It manages the team better as well. Some players will be, taken off earlier. So, it gives them the right to kind of relax and then, reserve some energy in the tank for the next fixture as well. So yeah, definitely something to consider in the long term. And you said, I want to see a front three of Diaz, Salah, Chiesa next game. Salah as the central striker. Interesting. Okay. I actually would have gone for Chiesa as my central striker. And then Salah remains at right wing, and then you've got Diaz on the left. But now there's a big debate. Is it Diaz or Gakpo? Because Gakpo's best position is left wing. We all know that. He can play as a false 9 or as a striker. Can even play as a number 10. Can't play on the right. I don't think he's good there. But I feel like that position, he's just more effective. Diaz is probably more skill and flair, so he's easy on the eye. But Gakpo is industrious in that play because I think he's very quick, and he's one of those players that probably doesn't look quick, if that makes sense. Maybe because of his height and stuff, and that's to the advantage. Because once he gets the ball and he drives with it, he can be unbeatable at times. So his delivery is very good in terms of his crossing and his passing range as well. So he can definitely shoot. Probably has a better shot than Diaz, in my opinion, more clinical. So like Cody Gakpo's definitely got a shout in terms of playing in this team as well. I like to see Chiesa up top and see how he does. Can you imagine if he starts cooking? Then we'll sort it for a while as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure he'll get to play in different positions, but I'm more intrigued about that central role more than anything else. Steve says Jota's best position is his natural position, i.e., wide left attacker. He's not striker. I totally agree with you, Steve. That's what I said earlier on as well. that is his natural position. It's everything's more instinctive when he plays on the left wing, whereas when he's a striker, I feel like he has to do more than what comes to him naturally. So with that, it comes a bit of a breakdown, and then it slows the game down, and then he loses the ball. For me, let him just drive with the ball on the left wing, and then cut in and shoot, and then he'll score the goal. So yeah, I agree with that one. Uh, Steve says we are overloaded in the squad with left-sided attackers in Gakpo, Diaz, Nunes, Jota. We only have Chiesa as Salah backup. We have no killer striker up top. Big problem. We are stacked in that section, to be fair. Obviously, when me and you've just confirmed that Jota's best position is as a left winger or left forward, however you want to phrase it. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I think now, currently, he's probably regarded more as a striker. And to be fair, I don't have any cons with it. I just don't feel like it's his best position. He can do a good job there, but he's got a lot of areas to improve on. And it's more so off the ball and build up play rather than being in the final third and finishing. The decision making needs to improve as well. There's been times where he probably should have squared it to someone like Gakpo today, had a pretty much a tap in if he had passed it to him. Instead, he went for a shot and it didn't even hit the target, went way off the mark. So that's definitely an area that he needs to improve his game. Gakpo and Diaz for me are the real solid left wingers. Nunes is a makeshift. I don't regard him as a left winger. Jota for me is a striker now in this team. So I feel like in terms of per position, we've got two each. We've got Diaz, Gakpo on the left, Jota, Nunes up top, and then you've got Salah and Chiesa. So yeah, I feel like we've got enough quality in terms of the right side. Yeah, if Salah's available, Chiesa's there now, which we've never had. So it's a fantastic option for us to have off the bench or as a squad altogether. But then last season when Salah went to AFCON, we played Diaz there on occasions and Jota. Jota did well on the right side, even though it's not his best position at all. But he scored goals from that role because he had a bit of more of a roaming role more than anything else. So there's players in the teams that can be makeshift in that position on like 1 or 2 game basis. But we've got Chiesa who can play in there week in, week out. So from an attacking point of view, I think like we have a lot of strength in depth. I'm looking forward to seeing all of these players in full flow. And then obviously when Harvey Elliott's around, he can play right wing as well. So we do have options in those positions. And if you really need to stretch it, you can even put Szoboszlai there because that is a position he played for Red Bull Leipzig before he joined Liverpool. So yeah, we do have options in the attacking areas. And Steve said, I would love to see Gakpo start next game. I'll be honest with you, me too. That would be my prediction. I would love to see him playing left wing. I feel like he deserves it after such a great performance. And you just literally just said what I just said. So yeah, fair play. Steve says Becco with the ball. His feet had me nervous as hell. Today, I don't know what he was. I don't know what he was on. I don't know if he, went out for a quick drink because he's in Milan as well. So he got caught up with the atmosphere and the lifestyle there for in the short periods. They probably saw like a nice restaurant and helped himself to a drink or two. I don't know. I'm only joking, but yeah, he just had one of his off days. It is what it is. I'm just glad that the off day wasn't when we lost because then we feel it a bit more. When you win, yeah, it doesn't really mean much. So yeah, no problem at all there. Salah back to golf. And then you got Salah back to goals. Yeah, I was thinking that's probably what you meant. Against teams that defend deep is better than Jota. Listen, with Salah, I don't feel like he gets enough credit for it. He's very strong on the ball. Very strong. Just people don't realize it. And there was a content from Liverpool Football Club on their channel the other day with Jota speaking about the players in the squad. And he says Salah is the strongest player in the squad. So I see it as well because when you see defenders trying to barge him out of the way, he doesn't get barged out of the way like that. If he does, it's because they deliberately fouled him and he's he's dropped to ground. So he understands that kind of aspect of the game where he needs to hold the ball, lay it off because he's got the strength. Maybe Jota is just not that physical player where he likes to have his back on a player or sideways or any shape or form. So yeah, I think Salah would be more suited in that role. I feel like Salah on the right wing. That's his That's his zone right there. That's something where we shouldn't really touch. Steve also says Chiesa, Dom, Diaz, Salah up top next game. Chiesa, Dom next, what's that? Diaz and Salah up top. Interesting. Okay. Even though I would like to start Gakpo instead of Diaz now. I'd want to see Gakpo, if I'm being honest with you. I think Gakpo deserves it. And that's no shit. This is the good thing about a squad. We will have to rotate. So if a player's been dropped, it's not because he's rubbish all of a sudden. There's someone else in better form right now. So you got to take it from that as well. You got to give players a chance, especially when they're showing good form. So I don't think Chiesa will start. I think it's a bit too soon. I think for the next 2-3 games he'll probably come off the bench. He may start in the Carabao Cup game, which I believe is next week against West Ham. So that could be a game where he starts. Because I expect both teams to rotate quite a bit. But yeah, I don't think he'll start this game. But that's just my guess there. Steve also said a natural striker finishes that Jota chance to you. Yeah. I really hope we sign a top striker in January or in the summer. Jota's a good option to have, I guess, when your main striker's out. But right now he is the main striker. So for me, there has to be one player above him. That's how I see it. And then I don't mind him being like a backup striker or a backup left winger. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. A natural striker in the team finishes Jota's chance tonight by chipping it over the keeper, but Jota's shot against. Yeah, so that's the thing. Those kind of shots, you got to be very sort of smart into how you play. Because I feel like with certain strikers, they don't have different types of finishes. Whereas, all the top strikers on back end, they can finish in any shape or form. They can dink the ball, they can chip it, they can smash it with low in the corner. They can hit top bins, hit it with the outside of their foot. You gotta have different techniques when you're a top striker. So just controlling and shooting with the pure power that you have, it doesn't always work. And then that finish there, the goalkeeper's coming to you, so you've got to use your natural instincts. Like, I need to just lift it, even if it's not very high. It just needs to go above the keeper, and that's what differentiates the good striker with the top strikers. So yeah, whoever that striker is, who knows? Yeah, it'll be interesting if Liverpool linked with anyone in the coming months. And then Steve says Van Dijk Konate hates trying to get the ball off Salah, who is back to him in training. Yeah, I see why. I see why, because he's a very strong fella. Steve says Dom heavy metal pressing tonight was top tier. Yeah, it was top tier, to be honest with you. So energetic, but he had more purpose in his pressing today. And he ended up intercepting a lot of passes from the opposition. And today was the game where I feel like he actually threaded a lot of through balls on the counter as well. And it was some nice passing. He's got great technique when he hits the ball as well. So I felt like he's slowly finding his rhythm or finding his mojo, as you referenced earlier on today. And I feel like, he's got the goal today. That's going to give him confidence going forward. So I feel like that was probably what was lacking, just a goal to just give you that little boost. And yeah, hopefully it improves going forward. So yeah, you're just correcting yourself. So that's all good. So yeah, that is all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. In terms of upcoming content, I'll be doing a match preview of Liverpool versus Bournemouth, which is our next Premier League game. It will be taking place Saturday at 3 p.m. kickoff time. So match preview will be on Thursday, probably around 10 p.m. UK time. And then I'll be doing a watch along for this game as well. I'll probably be logged on from 2:45, 2:50. So the best thing to do is hit that notification bell so you know what live stream shows I've got coming up and then what time I go live. Also follow me on social media for all the latest updates. You can follow me at OZZIE'S on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. So yeah, a lot of content coming your way, guys. And then we'll do a match reaction the same day as well. It'll be an evening show, kind of like today. So it'll be not as late, but it'll probably be around 10, 11 o'clock. So yeah, make sure to tune in for that. Just got a few more comments before we log off. Steve said if Dom can improve his passing, better player. I think he has it in his locker, and that's based on what I've seen at Red Bull Leipzig. So I feel like he does have a better passing range than what he's showing. So he's got a lot of growth, and hopefully he shows it this season. Ozzy, who might not playing in the Champions League? Yeah, ask those guys at the back. Yeah, definitely. Though God knows who they're playing in their competition. Probably some random team in Romania or, so yeah, let them enjoy where they are right now. Actually, didn't they win Europa League? What am I even thinking? Yeah, Chelsea ended up getting the Conference League spot. So yeah, good for them. Everton sacked their manager tonight. Is it? No way. That's a strange one. Why are they sacking Sean Dyche? All right, interesting. Thanks for that, Steve. Definitely going to keep that on the loop in terms of making sure if I see any breaking news that you were the first one to tell me. Because, yeah, that's a bit crazy. I don't know why they sacked him so early. I know they've not had the best of starts, but I thought they were stuck with him, to be fair. But, hey, probably got someone lined up. Don't know who would be a better option, to be honest with you. But, hey, we'll see. And then Steve said the switch from our right to left side was quality tonight. Yeah, definitely. I think that's something we've got to improve on. We can be quite predictable in our play. So when we start interchanging and start moving from one side to the other, it makes a big difference. Suppose I remember doing a couple of passes when he's switching one flank to the other. So yeah, adding variation to our play, that's what's important for me. Because then it just brings that sort of that unpredictable play. And we're not shooting that, Liverpool is going to play this way. We know how to deal with them. Every game's got to be different. So yeah, hopefully that happens. And Steve said, Everton fans want Rodgers. Really? Oh, they could have him. That's interesting, Thing is, they never recruited very well. They didn't. I know the Calvert-Lewin scored the other day, but this team, they don't have a lot of top strikers for me. And in terms of their attacking options from the wings, they only had 2 wingers. Because I did a squad analysis when I did my prediction show last week or so. So yeah, let's see. Interesting shout there. Let's see what happens with Everton. But yes, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all on Thursday. Goodbye.